Thanks for staying with us. Time now for Eye on Africa with me, Georgia Calvin-Smith. Tonight, Ethiopia says that warnings that tens of thousands of people have been killed during conflict in the northern region of Tigray are politically motivated. Meanwhile, aid workers call for foreign condemnation of ongoing violence and warn of humanitarian disaster. Also, Zuma's defiance triggers a stern response from the Anti-Corruption Commission looking into allegations of misuse of power under the former South African president. It launches a criminal complaint after Jacob Zuma says he will not appear before it. And the northeastern Nigerian city of Maiduguri struggles to restore power days after its supply is cut off by an attack by extremists. The sabotage has also caused water shortages and disrupted daily life. But first, Ethiopia's rejected reports from Tigray opposition groups warning that over 50,000 people have been killed in months of conflict between federal forces and fighters from the northern region. More than 350 Peace Corps volunteers and 3 former US ambassadors have also written to US congressmen calling for vocal condemnation of the ongoing violence in Ethiopia. Their concerns about rural communities suffering human rights abuses and starvation. Addis Ababa, though, insists that there have not been significant civilian casualties. Maria Gerth-Nicolescu tells us more.
The Ethiopian government stated on Wednesday that the claims made by the Tigrayan parties of more than 50,000 civilian casualties in Tigray are unsubstantiated and that political motives are behind the allegation. This comes as a statement was published on Tuesday by parties based in the Tigray region accusing the Ethiopian government of using hunger as a weapon and urging the international community to interfere in the face of the humanitarian crisis. Now, some NGOs, international organizations, as well as government supplies are now able to reach some parts of the Tigray region in order to provide help, but many other areas, especially those near the border with Eritrea, remain completely inaccessible. Organizations are now sounding the alarm regarding malnutrition, widespread internal displacement, as well as lack of access to basic health facilities. It's not clear how the assessment was made for the 50,000 casualties in Tigray, and it's impossible to verify this claim at this stage. It's very likely that thousands have died during the conflict, which has been going on for 3 months now, but with lack of independent access to Tigray, it's very challenging to assess the exact number of casualties, as well as to know who exactly is responsible for those.
Maria Gerth-Nicolescu there for us. Now, Ethiopia's state media has announced that 15 people have been arrested for plotting to attack the embassy of the United Arab Emirates in Addis Ababa. The Ethiopian press agency says that the group was under foreign direction and that weapons and explosives were also seized. The country's intelligence service worked with its Sudanese counterparts as a second group is reported to have also been planning a raid on the UAE mission in Sudan. Neither Sudan nor the UAE has yet commented on the operations. The Anti-graft Commission, looking into allegations against former South African President Jacob Zuma, has taken a hard line with him after he declared that he would not be cooperating with the investigation. They've launched a criminal complaint against him. Despite a court ordering that he appear before the inquiry, this week Zuma said that, law or no, he would not go. Jane Flanagan has more.
Jacob Zuma, South Africa's former president, has put himself on a collision course with the judicial inquiry, which is hearing evidence of corruption during his 9 years in office. Mr. Zuma began giving evidence at the Zondo Commission last year, but then walked out just as cross-examination heated up against him. He's refused to return despite being summoned by the court. And this week, the Constitutional Court, one of the most senior courts in the country, ordered him to do so. But Mr. Zuma remains defiant and has accused not only the Commission, but the Constitutional Court of being prejudiced against him. And he has said he'd rather go to jail than engage with this process. The Zondo Commission, which is due to wrap up its business in the coming months, really is the most high-profile symbol of President Ramaphosa's pledge to clean up politics in South Africa. And what happens in the coming weeks and how Mr. Zuma deals now with yet another summons, another demand to appear for questioning, really will reveal much about how far President Ramaphosa has progressed and is able to progress with bringing Jacob Zuma to book to face these very serious allegations against him.
Jane Flanagan there for us. Now, the trial of a suspected warlord accused of directing war crimes during Liberia's second civil war began in Tampere in Finland on Wednesday. Known as Angel Gabriel, the Sierra Leonean faces charges of murder, rape, and aggravated crimes against humanity. Gabriel Masakoi has been living in Finland since 2008. Prosecutors there want a life sentence for the killings and torture they say he and his soldiers carried out between 1999 and 2003 in Liberia. The 51-year-old denies the charges. For the first time, the court will also move to Liberia and Sierra Leone later this month to hear from witnesses and visit some of the places where massacres and bloodshed are alleged to have been carried out under Masakoi's orders. Prosecutors have praised how far Finnish police have gone to gather testimony on the ground.
The Finnish police, in this case the National Bureau of Investigation, who just took the cow by the horns, so to speak, and went down to Liberia to hear, first of all, to negotiate with the Liberian authorities for a permission to investigate. And then they just went out in the jungle and investigated. And I have to give them a thumbs up for doing that, because that's quite extraordinary.
Now, people in the Nigerian city of Maiduguri have been struggling to deal with the disruption caused by a week-long power blackout. Their electricity was cut after towers supplying the national grid were blown up by extremists. Water supplies have also been affected. Many are frustrated by how long it's taken authorities to restore power. Laura Berstecker has more.
The power generator, a tool that's become a must-have for Maiduguri residents. The northeastern Nigerian city has been without electricity for over a week after a jihadist group blew up a nearby power grid on January 26th.
There's blackout, total blackout in the city. And, for quite some time now, we've not been having lights, and I have to come and fix my generator.
While business has been booming for private generator salesmen, the blackout has had a disastrous impact on the livelihoods of many others who need electricity to earn a living. It's also been causing water shortages in the city of 3 million, with pumps now requiring diesel to function. A difficult situation for local residents who had already seen their economic activity severely impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic.
Saboda kasuwancin namu kamar yadda muke gani yau da gobe mun ga bambanci rashin wuta nan na kwana biyu.
Targeting infrastructure has become an increasingly common tactic for insurgent groups in northern Nigeria. The January 26th attack, which was carried out by jihadists with links to the Islamic State organization, was the third in a month to cause power shortages in Maiduguri. It came as Nigerian President Muhammadu Buhari replaced the country's top 4 military commanders last week in response to mounting criticism over his handling of the decade-long Islamist insurgency.
A Johannesburg hotel is offering courtesy of circuitry. It's brought in 3 robots to navigate its corridors to help out guests and make deliveries door to door. The Hotel Sky took on the new staff before the pandemic, but they have proved to be a useful addition to the socially distanced human team.
They sort of help out with the smaller things, where people need smaller things, and where staff would usually be running up to 4 floors to deliver a meal or delivering 2 meals. Now we've got the facility where they can control the robots themselves and send it off, and they can also have the chatbot answering questions that would have usually taken up time.
Welcome to Hotel Sky. You can ask me questions.
What time is breakfast served?
Equinox Restaurant is open from 06 H30 till 10 H30 midweek and until 11 HOO on weekends.
A lot of the guests think it's like pretty cool. I mean, the novelty of the whole system is big in South Africa. So the chatbot is pretty interesting because these robots have quite a catchy personality. So the replies are quite interesting that you get out of the robot when you ask questions.
Hasta la vista, baby.
I don't know. They seem a bit emotionally unavailable to me. Anyway, that's all we have time for Eye on Africa. Thanks for joining us, and do so again if you can. Take care.